family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR Prepping. You already know what time it is, baby. Get your drink, pull up, let's talk about it. Welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, we just talk about food preservation, emergency preparedness. We talk about different national disasters, different things, chaotic things that might come and happen to you and your family, and how you can prepare for those things. Really, all I do is talk about what me and my family do to hopefully give you ideas of what you can do when certain events happen to you and yours. So today I want to talk about, I watched a video that kind of inspired this, plus getting different emails. A lot of times subscribers send me information and it's just little tidbits of information. It might be a news article, it might be something, a screenshot of something they're personally going through, something that they have experienced. Sometimes it's pictures of shortages. Just I get a variety of different things, right? And I had a subscriber hit me up yesterday and let me know, hey, they had ran into an issue with the prescription, right? Not being able to be filled. It wasn't available, antibiotic. And she or he, I'm sorry, can't really recall right now, was sharing that information with me. So I'm very blessed when I get any type of information, because I like intel no matter where I get it from. And then it helps me to decipher moves I'm going to make. So and then recently, a few days ago, actually, I follow the Patriot Nurse. I had watched her video. And she, first of all, if you don't follow Patriot Nurse, she's an amazing nurse. She has a channel. She does a lot of off stuff now. I don't think she's actually in the field anymore. But she's a wealth of information, especially for somebody like me who really follows and is really interested at all times about different things that are happening in the healthcare system, health field, medicine, viruses, diseases. I like to track all of that stuff at all times. And so she's one that I like to follow. I don't watch her 100% all the time, but I do appreciate the information she puts out, and she speaks very, very well. So she put out a video, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, just talking about healthcare system, the nightmares, stuff that she's seen, expectations for us, just common folk that aren't in that field, right? Things to expect, how it's being how things are being handled, what's the problem. And it's all things, you guys, that we've discussed already on this channel. It's all things that we kind of know is going on. And it kind of was just cool to see the perspective of a nurse, of somebody from that field, and their spin on it, right? And if anything, it validated all the things that I think about. It validated all the things that I talk about, that we prepare for in this home. And so I want to bring that to you, okay? I'm gonna change this because I don't think you guys care about my TV in the background. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what I did was I wrote down all the things that go through my mind when we think about healthcare, concerns about healthcare, concerns about where healthcare is headed, concerns about how that works for us, right? Especially if you're a family who, so I pride myself that, and this could be good or bad, that we're not a family that just runs to the ER. And when I say that, I hope I do not offend anybody, but you have certain families, certain people who are brought up that the minute anything happens, they run to the ER. And I'm not saying don't take care of yourself, don't go to the ER, don't go to the hospital. I'm not saying that at all. So I hope that I'm conveying this in a way that makes you understand what I'm trying to tell you, is that we pride ourselves on, okay, calm down, what has happened? Is this something that really needs to go to the ER? Is it something that we can handle? And I hope I said that in a way where I hope you don't think we're keeping babies and kids home with broken arms and things like that. We both were in the military. We totally understand injuries, and trust and believe when it's something that needs to have medical care, we absolutely go to a doctor or go to the emergency room or go to urgency care or whatever the case may be, okay? So we do that. But I know of families who literally, the minute that they're even just a little bit sick, they're heading to urgent care. And to me, that's a little excessive. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. It's a waste of your money. It's a waste of your time, your effort, just because if you're sick and you can't handle just being sick and understanding, okay, you need cold medicine, you need, a hot bath, you need some hot tea, you need rest, you need hydration, you need healthy food, right? if you can't mend yourself back from just a basic ailment like that, you're probably in trouble. Okay. And so, for you to waste time going to a doctor just to be told, yeah, here's a prescription for some over-the-counter pain meds. Okay, you're running a fever. You need a fever reducer, and you need a pain med, and you need, right? So it's kind of silly to me. So I think that it's important that we learn more about healthcare, your own health concerns, and how to turn that around so that you're able to, as this healthcare system declines, which it is, you're able to maneuver through that, navigate through that, and continue to take care of your family. Okay, so I wrote down 7 concerns. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things that have me concerned, that I'm watching, and then I have a preparedness kind of mindset around these things, and then I do some things. So at the end, I'm gonna definitely go through some stuff you can do, right? We're about solutions. So these are my concerns. Obviously, it's the labor numbers. It's the amount of nurses that we have. It's the amount of PAs, of doctors, of surgeons, of you name it, the whole healthcare system. And not just those people in the healthcare system in general, all the administrative people, everybody that is involved in that system, to the janitors, right? To the people that were keeping the hospitals clean, doctors' offices clean, to, the folks that just answer the phones and do record keeping and do that stuff, right? Administrative stuff. There's a lot of different stuff. The radiological people, just all the different niches, right, within the healthcare system. All of that took a hit when we ran into this whole government, we're in charge, you will do this, you will take this thing, or you will leave. And that really just rushed a lot of folks who were already planning to make an exit, and you really just forced their hand, or people that weren't even thinking about it, but you forced their hand and they did it early and they decided to do a career change because to them, their personal health was more important than having a job in that industry. And so we are extremely hurting in that industry as a whole. That's EMTs, that's like the whole umbrella of when you say healthcare, what that means, and all the people involved took a crazy hit, okay? And it's just not there anymore, right? It's just not there. You have a lot of burnt out folks. You have people who were burnt out before, right? But it's bad now, right? And then if you take anything like right now, supposedly, triple demic, right? Flu, RSV, COVID, all this stuff's happening, and our hospitals, are a little bit fuller than they normally are. So just imagine in a situation like that, it's even more inundated. You just don't have the people there. And this is everything. Think about nursing homes, think about people that are staying. All of that level of care is gone, you guys. It's literally ripped. People talk about level of care and, what does that mean? Well, if you don't have the bodies there to care for people, that's immediately a huge hit to the level of care because there's just simply not enough people to get the job done. Okay. And to get it done in maybe the manner that you're expecting it to be done. Next thing is the level of care. I just said that the labor, the amount of the force is a direct correlation to the level of care, but you have folks that are left that are really institutionalized. And I say that in a loving way because I'm institutionalized. I came from the military, and that's exactly what it is. And it's no different in that realm, especially when they're so aligned with the government. And this is what Patriot Nurse was talking about. And she really, you've got to check out her and check out this video. Maybe I'll link it in the description box. She just had a very lovely way of describing the level of care and the level of empathy and that type of stuff and what to expect when you're going into these places now. I mean, she really had a good way of explaining it. Next concern for me is prescriptions, right? The availability of prescriptions, being able to have something prescribed to you and then get it. The subscriber who hit me up, she sent me a screenshot. She went to the doctor. She had COVID. She got antibiotics. She had some steroids. She had some different stuff, right? Some different meds that they prescribed to her. She said, okay, thank you. She left. And then she goes to, fill it. And then, the company is like, oh, by the way, we don't have that. We're going to have to get back to you with either a substitute or when it comes in, right? So, And who knows? I don't know how it works with the doctor. If when they prescribe you something, they can immediately see if it's in stock or not. I do not believe that, because you're going to a secondary, completely separated pharmacy, right? You're going to the pharmacy that like you have in the system that you want, that's close to home, let's say, or whatever. And so it's just a big runaround, you know. You go to get something, you don't want to go in the first place, you get what you think you need, and then you can't get what you need, what it is that you were prescribed. And so an issue is not being able to get something that's prescribed to you, or having to go to several. I get these messages all the time of people having to go to 5-6 different pharmacies to finally get said prescription. Some of them going to different towns to get the prescription filled, or they're getting second or third or fourth generic types. You know, they're prescribed something and they end up getting the second or third or fourth type of generic version of that, okay? And so they're not actually getting what the doctor prescribed to them. My other thing is over-the-counter meds, right? Of course, just seeing shortages, the ability to get said over-the-counter meds, seeing holes, seeing stuff that are getting cleaned out already, right? Things happen, people panic, they get things, it gets cleaned out. But my concern is over-the-counter meds and them eventually being regulated, right? The availability to even go and get it. I'm not talking about shortages right here. I'm really actually talking about just, since we know this whole thing is money, it's a money thing, it's a money game, right? For the government, for big pharma. And so, you know, it's just a matter of time before over-the-counter stuff is taken back. That's a level of control. You take all that, now that people have to get into your systems, they have to go to the hospitals, they have to go to the doctors, they have to get into the system and do what you say in order to then get the other meds and the other stuff that they want for everyday care, okay? So over-the-counter is an issue. Another concern of mine is shortages. Saw this in children's Tylenol, saw this in all types of other stuff. Antibiotics is seeing shortages. We are seeing shortages in certain medications, whether that's over the counter, whether that's prescribed. And it's very, very important that you get your hands on this any way you possibly can. I'm going to do something I don't normally do, and that's put two companies together, but I think that it is more important to get the information to you. In my description link of this video, in the description box below, and all the other videos before this, I have links to two companies. One is JASE Medical and one is Contingency Medical. They are both antibiotic companies that you can then hit the link. I am affiliated. I will get a small commission. Make sure you're using the codes that are with each link so that you can get a $10 discount, but you want to get these cases, JASE case, Contingency Medical. They are antibiotics, okay? It's a very simple process. You're gonna prove who you are through an ID. You're gonna get asked some very simple questions. They're not over the top. They're not HIPAA type questions. They're just basically, do you have a doctor? Have you seen a doctor in the last 2 years? And then you're going to get into, you know, do you have allergies? That type of stuff. What meds are you taking? And then they're going to put you in contact with your doctor, not your doctor, with a doctor. You're going to have a conversation about the way you answer those questions. And then they're going to fill the prescription. You're going to get a notification saying that that your pharmacy is filling these antibiotics, and then you're going to get the kit sent to you in the mail. The reason why in this video I want to discuss both is because it gives families an opportunity to get even more, okay? You know, obviously, I don't know what the rule is for JASE case, like, or just for one of them, any of them, for me to just keep doubling up, tripling up, whatever, right? And so I like having two of these in my house. Another way to get them multiple ways in your house is you do it and then hubby does it. And so there's an opportunity to get 4 cases, right? So think this through, think what happens for your family. Obviously, these are not super cheap, right? Okay, these are 200 plus kits, but antibiotics in your house. Without going into our medical history, we have used from both kits already, okay? And I haven't had them like for years and years and years, right? It's just been months since we've had them, and it's come in handy, okay? So I can't stress enough, if you do not have your antibiotic kits in your home pharmacies now, put that on, write it down, and put it in your budget and figure out when it is that you can afford that. Save your $10 a month, put it in an envelope so that you can save up and get these kits, okay? Extremely, extremely important to get antibiotics, to give yourself options. I'm not saying don't continue to go to the hospital or urgent care if something happens and get your prescriptions, and if you're able to get prescribed antibiotics, then do that. But what I'm saying is that there are shortages, and When it's just like children's Tylenol, when your baby has a fever and then you're running around like a chicken trying to find one little thing of fever reducing medicine, and you can find it anywhere, and you're going to towns over and everywhere frantically looking for this stuff, and you don't have options. You don't have a holistic option. You don't have any stockpile options. This is the same thing, antibiotics. When you need them, right? And so it's just a very, very good backup, okay? Let's see. Next concern is supply chain concerns. It's still a concern because India and China are the two places that we get the majority of the components that go into the meds that we make. So yeah, big pharma, ooh, we make all these meds, we make all this stuff. Guess where we get all that stuff though from? China and India, okay? So if anything ever happens with either one of those places, whether it's warlike stuff or just something happens, pandemic, something takes them out of the game, whatever, collapse from any of these countries or us, whatever happens, right? Imports, exports, resource wars, you name it, but there's a problem where then we cannot get said medicine components. That's an issue. Obviously, we're already dealing with shortages. Where do you think that comes from? Well, that comes from this country, China being locked down forever, okay? And so that, has a direct effect to our supply, right? Our supplies of everything coming in, to include medicine. If they can't get the components needed for these medicines, their big pharma can't make them, and then they can't, have the medicine, okay? So think this stuff through. It's a big circle, right? And you have to be ready, as the leader of your family, to be prepared for when you cannot just get these things anymore, right? You have to take care of yourselves and take your own future into your hands, okay? And then the last concern, I'm finalizing my Patreon account now. I'm probably going to do a big video on this and my thoughts on this, but blood, right? Very, very low levels of blood, not a lot of blood donations happening, very low levels of blood, stock. I talked about this very loosely on other videos in the past. This is going to be a problem. I'm going to talk about this more on Patreon when I get this running at the end of this week, because this is going to be one of the things, okay, that is going to be an epic problem. On multiple levels, not just the fact of not having the blood itself, but what does that mean, especially with what we've gone through in the last few years. Okay, so let's talk about what you can do. Well, you need to get your medical supplies, right? You need to carve out a space in your home, a dresser in your home, a closet in your home, a room in your home if you can, a medical room, medical area, and you need a stockpile, baby. You need PPE, you need the gloves, you need the mask, you need to outfit it the best you can, like it is when you go into a hospital. Gloves, gowns, masks, hazmat. You need all the medical things, right? All the PPE, goggles. You need mats for people to lay on, sleep on. You need all the medical bandages, everything, right? And I've done several videos on medical supplies. Maybe I'll try to find them and link them below, but you need to get it in gear with getting all the things and stockpiling. All the over-counter meds that you can get them in stockpile. If you don't know where to start, think about your family, think about the last year, think about all the things that has happened to each person in your family, from everything, even the at-home ailments, okay? Get all that stuff. Pepto, maybe it's Pepto. You guys run through Pepto like nothing. Whatever it is, get all of those things. Get those over-counter things. Stockpile those pain meds, okay? Inflammation meds, all of the things. Supplements, do not forget vitamins and supplements and different things that holistically are good. Get them while you can now and buy them. Buy the seeds to grow those medicinal plants. Think about your holistic options and get all the things needed to start that, to learn that. Get your medical books, whether it's first responder type care books, whether it's holistic medicine type books, whatever it is, okay? And get that stuff now. Get the over-the-counter now before it's regulated and you can't get stuff. Don't forget your pets. Don't forget your livestock. Go in there and see all the stuff medicine-wise that you're able to get over-the-counter right now for your pets, for every one of your pets in your home, and for every livestock animal that you have. Go in, Tractor Supply, PetSmart, wherever. Look at the medicine section and get all of the different things that you would have for different ailments for your pets right now. A lot of folks, even folks that love their animals, would do anything for their animals. They don't have one thing of medicine in their home right now because you just don't think about it, right? You do not think about it until something's wrong with your animal. And then of course you're like, I got to take, they're hurt, something's wrong. I'm going to take them to the vet. Maybe you get something prescribed. But there's a lot of, everyday care type medicine type stuff that's over the counter that you can get for your pet. So get everything that's over the counter that you can get done. And if there's stuff that's prescription that you can possibly talk your vet into getting and having and say, hey, I need this for preparedness reasons, you might have a better chance of getting that than said a regular doctor like our doctors, okay, because it's a pet. Think about building that pharmacy. Think about injury care when you're building it. Think about virus care and disease when you're building it. Think about aging care, getting older and all the things that come with that. Think about babies, infants, toddlers, and that aspect of medicine and what that means, especially holistic too. You need to be, if you do something holistic and you have a dosage, you need to be researching what the dosage is for children, right? You need your, think about your everyday aches and pains and stockpiling that stuff. Get your antibiotics. I can't stress that. Get these antibiotic kits, okay? These companies have various size of kits too. So anywhere from 5 to 8 possibly antibiotics in one kit. You have to go to the websites, go down to the links below, visit them and see, and they'll tell you exactly what's going to go in it. When you talk to your doctor, you can see exactly what's going to be in your kit, what it's for. They give you little pamphlets of what it's for. A lot of times what we do is before we use it, we're Googling, we're seeing what it is, the ailment we have, what is the normal, antibiotic for that, what's the side effects of that, what medicines can be used with it, right, if we're taking anything. A lot of times, what is the next best antibiotic? So maybe we won't have a specific antibiotic, but the next best thing we do have. So just super important to have your antibiotics. And it's going to teach you, right? It's going to teach you to research and learn more, right? Like who knew anything about antibiotics and what the different ones mean and what they're for? And now I'm up on game, right? Much more than I was even a year ago. Next thing is work on your personal health. So work on getting off the meds. Whatever you have to do, again, you have right now the opportunity to Google, to research, to really dive deep into how to make yourself better holistically, how to switch from being prescribed a medication and getting healthy and getting off of that, okay? And if that's not possible, what is your best next case for taking care of yourself when the grid goes down or prescriptions, meds, everything goes down? You can't get, like, let's say somebody's on blood pressure meds or some other kind of meds and you no longer can't get that stuff. Like, what's the game plan? What's the foods you should be eating? How are you making that person healthy? How are you going to regulate that blood pressure now, whether it's up or down? And what stuff can you buy now, supplements or things that you can buy and grow now that will help you help that person as they go through that ailment, right? But if you research now and possibly there's ways to get off of it now, talk to your doctor now and say, hey, I'm really wanting to know my holistic options for this. I have this. Can I start weaning off of it? Do you think I'm ever going to be able to do that? What should I do to start working towards that? And then holistically, what can you do to pick it up when that stuff's completely gone? That is super important because when a super chaotic, catastrophic event happens, like what we're talking about, a lot of people are going to die. And of that group that dies, a lot of them are because of medical complications. They are dependent on a medical, whatever it is, air, whatever it is, right? Oxygen, maybe it's a machine, maybe it's people, maybe it's a specific medication. It's a life-saving medication. And the minute they don't have it, they're going to die. And so you're going to have a lot of folks that are going to be doing this. But a lot of stuff, it can be corrected or can be maintained and can be taken care of. So if you do the research now, you dive deep now, you talk to your doctor now, you have all these resources at your fingertips now, then continue to do that so that you can be well on your way to being able to transition into taking care of you and your family. And then it's not so chaotic and possibly you're saving somebody's life and you're not having to go through that death cycle that's going to be happening so close to home because you've prepared to be able to take care of your family medically. You've already prepared and built medical plans of what you're going to transition into the day they don't get meds, or you've already started doing that so they can safely do that, because some meds you can't just go cold turkey. And so it's important to really look at this stuff now and talk with your doctor on what's the appropriate care to, weaning you off something. Okay, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, so I highly suggest that you're talking to your own personal doctor about all of this stuff, but it's important that you start taking this into your own hands, because baby, the healthcare system is going downhill, and I don't see it getting better anytime soon. Okay, so do what you got to do. Be well, be kind, do everything in love, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Take care. Bye.